What is going on, everybody? We are back with another reaction video. Thank you so much for joining me today. The support truly means a lot. And to all my new viewers stopping by, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. I hope you all enjoy this video today because I know I will. But before we jump right into this, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and turn all post notifications on. If you guys would like to recommend some of these amazing, fabulous videos for me, myself to react to, please feel free to spam my comment section and use that suggestion link down below in my description. Other than that, let's jump right into this video. Today, I will be reacting to Canada, the water superpower. Now, if there's one thing I know, it's that Canada is the home of water. I mean, my goodness. The country is bordered by 3 oceans. Come on, guys. Canada itself has over 2 million lakes. 2 million lakes? My goodness, I didn't even think 2 million lakes could fit in Canada, but apparently it can. Let's jump right into this video, man. I'm not wasting no more time. Here we go. And you know the problem with y'all is y'all so stingy. Y'all so stingy because y'all should be sharing some of that good water y'all got over there in Canada.
Is Canada the next superpower? Now, to most, this seems like a rather dumb question. I mean, of course not. Canada does not rival the mighty US or China, and not even close. But Canada does have an abundance of a resource in particular that will probably become a lot more valuable in the future.
Oh man.
And you probably guessed it, it's water. Increasingly, water has become scarce in many parts of the world, mostly because of climate change. Many countries, especially in emerging nations, will struggle to secure enough water for their populations. And surprisingly, even rich countries...
And you know who they're going to be turning into? Canada. What? I mean, Canada might actually help. Knowing Canada, knowing how nice you guys are, you probably would help out and send some water. But the way I'm seeing things is y'all don't want nobody touching y'all water, man. Y'all stingy about y'all water. You know, you got to take pride in something. You got to have something for your country. Y'all got water.
In Europe and the mighty United
got a lot of
States
things,
will see an increasing
one.
difficulty to quench the thirst of their populations. All right, well, that makes sense. But how much water does Canada actually have? Well, short answer is a lot. And I mean a lot of water. Now, before we begin, we will only be talking about fresh water resources that are renewable, meaning that this amount regenerates every single year. Fresh water only makes up about 3% of all water on Earth, and of that 3%, only 0.01% is surface fresh water like lakes and rivers, which is really outstanding given the amount of rivers and lakes that can be found on Earth. That just gives you a picture of how much water is actually on this planet. Now let's take a look at this chart showing the 5 countries with the most fresh water. As we can see, Canada only appears to be 3rd in terms of freshwater resources.
What?
With
Brazil got some clean water. What's going on over there in Brazil, man? Wait, hold on. Am I reading this wrong? No, I'm not. Brazil and then Russia. Brazil is all the way up there.
3,300 cubic kilometers of fresh water. Now, that doesn't seem like that much, right? Well, to put it simple, a cubic kilometer is an area of 1 by 1 by 1 kilometer, if you can imagine it in a 3D cube. Now, 1 cubic kilometer is actually 1 trillion liters of water, which is very hard to wrap your head around. Now, 3,300 of those cubic kilometers would actually be enough to fill the entire country of Samoa under a kilometer of fresh water. Now, let's return to the chart and we can see that Brazil is actually number 1. I mean, not very surprising as it does have the largest river system in the world, the Amazon basin, and basically...
The Amazon. I wasn't thinking that far. Yeah, I wasn't thinking that far, guys.
Triples Canada's fresh water supply with 8,233 cubic kilometers of fresh water. And then it drops significantly, placing Russia in 2nd spot, the mighty US in 4th spot, and finally China takes the 4th spot with 2,840 cubic kilometers of fresh water. Alright, so Canada has a lot of water. However, there's lots of other countries that have fresh water supplies that are actually very similar to Canada's freshwater supply. The mighty US, for example, has 3,069 cubic kilometers of fresh water, which is actually only 231 cubic kilometers less than Canada. However, let's consider the population of each country and see how much water each country has per person. We will find out that Canada has much more water availability than the mighty US. In fact, with this chart, we can see that Canada disposes of 0.0000875 cubic kilometers, which can be translated into simply 8.75 million liters per person. The mighty US, on the other hand, only disposes of 935,000 liters per person, which is significantly less than Canada. And once you add in China, well, China has even less than the United States at 203,800 liters of fresh water per person. Now, we also have to consider the total yearly consumption of fresh water of these countries. And as we can see from this chart, Canada has a significantly lower consumption than the mighty US and China. Canada therefore only uses about 36 cubic kilometers of its 3,300 cubic kilometers of yearly reserves available. We can also see that China is number one in terms of consumption of these countries at 598.1 cubic kilometers of fresh water yearly, and then we have the United States at 444.3 cubic kilometers of fresh water used per year. Now this means that Canada only uses about 1.09% of its total yearly available fresh water, which is significantly lower than China and the United States.
Yeah, like how is that only possible? How does Canada only use 1%? It's because of so much water. I mean, but like at the same time though, still.
Canada therefore has a lot of water to spare. Now we also have to consider
But you would still think the percentage would be a little higher, right?
In Canada. Canada, unlike countries such as the mighty US and China, has a relatively balanced landscape in terms of water availability and distribution. Canada is blessed with multiple river systems transecting the country, as well as an extensive network of lakes, allowing the vital resource to reach every corner of the country with ease. Canada, shared with the United States, even has the largest lake system in the world, the Great Lakes, as well as thousands of lakes across the country. The only slight exception to Canada's balance in terms of fresh water would be the Great Plain regions of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, which are relatively drier than the rest of the country, but they possess extensive irrigation systems to counter this climate. The United States, on the other hand, has a very different...
I'm not sure if I'm taking this into the wrong proportion, but when he says fresh water, this is what I'm imagining. Like, I could just walk up to any stream, any lake, any river, and I could just, like, take a sip out of it? Like, what you mean by fresh water? We're not talking about the ocean water. Although you could turn ocean water into fresh water. It's going to take some time, and you got to take little sips over the time, but I mean, like, you're not really going to be able to quench your thirst how you want to, but you could make it happen if you were stranded out on the sea. But, like, can I just walk up to any one of these streams or something and just, you know, take a sip of water? I see people do it in, what was it? I think it was Antarctica, actually. Or was it Alaska? It wasn't Antarctica. I don't think nobody's been to Antarctica besides researchers and scientists. I'm talking about, I think it was Alaska. Like, they dipped it, literally. They dipped a cup in a river stream and just drank from it. No fires, no chemicals, nothing. No purification system, nothing needed. Oh, that's what I'm thinking of it as. Now, am I wrong? Am I thinking about this in like a whole different way? Somebody please give me a better clarification in the comments, because I just want to know what people mean by clean water. Like, what do you really mean? Like, can I just walk up and drink it? Because I'm not really educated on knowing the purity of water and, like, knowing how clean it is and whether if it's healthy or not to drink it, you know? Because worst case scenario, I could be stranded out in a forest or somewhere in the Amazon, and I need to know what I could drink and what I can't drink. And I need to know what is pure and what isn't. There are definitely some lakes or streams out there where you could just put your cup in there. Especially if there's no fish or nothing. Oh, that's even better. Especially if there's no fish. Which leads me to wonder, if there's no fish, would it be a man-made, like, river? A man-made pond? A man-made stream? Or are there some actual streams, rivers, ponds, and lakes without any fish that aren't man-made and that still provide fresh water? See, I got too many questions, man. I should have waited to the end of the video. I'm sorry, guys.
Reality.
I'm going
the
to
United States has almost every biome imaginable, including vast areas of deserts with few rivers in between. This creates a very unbalanced concentration of water sources in the United States, which is especially concentrated east of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
And this creates immense water stresses in some areas of the country, notably southwestern United States, in states such as California, Nevada, and Arizona. Canada therefore finds itself in an advantageous position with an extreme abundance of fresh water. So the question is, what should Canada do with all this fresh water?
Keep it?
Well, the logical solution is to export some, and in the process make the country more prosperous.
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that? They're not doing that unless they have to. Yeah. Unless another country is desperately in need and they need that water supply, then Canada might be able to figure something out. But I can't just see them giving away that fresh water supply, man. Nah. I would be stingy too. I mean, come on. But there are some countries who desperately need some water. I'm not talking about Arizona where you need lakes there. Okay, let it be a dry land there. Everybody there still drinking some water. I'm talking about the countries that, man, they can't even drink water because they ain't got no water coming in, no streams and rivers and stuff. Now that's serious. Then, okay, now we should, help out, figure something out. But you talk about just exporting it to who? It depends who.
This, however, is not something that is commonplace in the world at this moment. However, if things continue this direction, it's likely to become a very lucrative trade in the future. Canada, therefore, should be proactive and start to build some infrastructure, such as pipelines, to export the resource abroad. Many dams and reservoirs already exist and could simply be transformed into starting points for these pipelines.
I mean, true, but how much water we got coming in yearly in Canada? How often does it rain in Canada? How often does it? We're not even gonna say snow. How often does? Yeah, we're not even gonna say snow. How often does it rain in Canada? Because we can't have countries just taking from Canada. Eventually, Canada gonna be dry. They ain't gonna have no water. Eventually, you don't have to think about that now, but a couple centuries down the line, you do. So my concern is, how are we able to get some more water in Canada? Are we just relying on the rain now? Because Canada they are definitely not paying nobody else to export water to them. To import water to them. They're not doing that. That's going to cost a lot of money. They're not going to make no money.
This industry would be much less strenuous on the environment as long as the rivers and lakes are able to rejuvenate themselves from what is taken from within.
That's what I'm saying.
Compared to oil pipelines, even if there's a burst in water pipelines, there would be much less environmental impact than oil pipelines. The water could then be transported to ports and then be transported through ships to any country in the world. This industry could be essentially treated as the oil and energy sectors are.
I'm about to say, I hope you don't mean. Never mind. Nobody's that clueless. Never mind. I've seen some crazy videos of what people put in these containers.
Treated today and
I'm just
could
hoping not
very
water.
well be their replacement and the solution. Only time will tell if this industry will actually become a reality in Canada. However, it is clear that Canada has an immense opportunity to capitalize and become very prosperous in the process. Canada not only has the capacity, but it also has the stability, unlike countries such as Brazil and Russia, to actually make this industry a reality. So will Canada be the next superpower? Well,
If
maybe,
any countries, yeah,
but very
that
unlikely.
is true.
However, it will probably become a lot more relevant on the world stage. So that is it for today's.
Canada gonna have 1 million pipelines running through that whole country. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be underground. I mean, of course. I just don't know about this, man. Like he said, as long as it's able to rejuvenate itself, how do we know that for sure if it is? Like, where does water gonna come from? Where is this water gonna come from? Because we have never taken from Canada. No other country has taken water from Canada. I mean, it's a country. They're not gonna take a little bit. They're taking a lot. They're taking a big lump sum. And if no water's coming in Canada, oh boy, oh boy. Thank you so much for joining me today. The support truly means a lot. And please feel free to let me know how you felt about this video down below in the comments section. And do you guys feel that Canada should share its water supply? Oh, I mean, it depends, especially if another country is in desperate need of that water supply, then okay, it's the right thing to do. But just doing it just because, I don't know, man. I see Canada being a dry land in a few centuries. We might not be here to witness it, but listen, we'll be seeing it from up top, and we're going to be like, man, it is a desert. It's looking just like Arizona. Yeah. So, I mean, you guys let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this decision. Do you think it should take place, or do you guys just want to keep the water for yourself? Hold all the water in Canada, man. Hold all the water. Please feel free to spam my comment section and use that suggestion link down below in my description if you would like to recommend some more of these amazing, phenomenal, fabulous, intriguing videos for me, myself, to react to. And please feel free to share this video and this channel to your friends and family members. And tell them we on the road to 10K. And we gonna hit it by the summertime. Oh, I know we will. I know we will. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe.